Well, let's talk about energy again, because you had a great column in The Australian on Monday advocating very persuasively for modular nuclear reactors. What's it going to take for these to be, for the public to be convinced to get behind this, Nick?
Well, it's interesting when you look at the polling, Fred. There's about a 60-40 split. 60% are willing to have a look at this. 40% say no way, and that 40% I think are the people I described as the energy illiterate population, because they just don't get you actually need something, and this looks pretty good. I think it's going to be, they're going to play very carefully, but I think that once you explain to people what these are, how big they are, that they take up a fraction of the land of those great ugly solar farms, and that they'll give energy all the time, but actually we're not going to put them in your backyard. We're going to put them in old, where coal-fired power stations are closing down, and perhaps we'll put them next to aluminium smelters or something. People will be very comfortable with it then. I think the not in my backyard thing applies to almost everything, and it's not just nuclear. I was talking to guys from Western Australia, from a council there, or the mayor of a Western Australian council the other day, and he told me they can't put a childcare centre anywhere. Everybody loves childcare centre, they don't want it next to them. So there is that, and they're going to have to do, it's obviously slightly stronger with nuclear, although I think I'd rather have a nuclear plant next to me than a childcare centre, quite frankly.
And just quickly, very quickly before you go, Dominic Perrottet released a report today detailing Sydney's future as a global network of cities. It's one of those typical, government plans where everything looks so brilliant, but I mean, it's all futuristic and really quite implausible, a lot of it. Earlier this week, a fire truck crashed into a tram in Sydney and ground the CBD to a halt for most of the day. We've got transport workers on strike. There's all sorts of stuff going on in Sydney. Hasn't Dominic Perrottet got other things to worry about?
Look, I mean, there's time for these sort of things. We like to have our spirits lifted and imagine what things might be in the future. It's like watching the Jetsons or something. But I tell you, I don't think people are in the mood for that right now. COVID has changed things, and they just want to know that the buses run on time, the trains run on time, and they're not going to get pinged every 500 metres because they've got a speed camera. Those are the things that are irritating people. And the Libs, when the Libs came to power under Barry O'Farrell, they were very mindful of that and came to power campaigning on those issues. But I don't think this future city thing is going to work, do you? It really doesn't. No.